1, 2, 3, 4. Wax's podcast, talking mad shit about uninteresting facts. Wax's podcast, listen to it every Wednesday. Yes, yes, yes. I don't have the pre-recorded Wax's podcast jingle with me today because I am on location at my brother and his beautiful wife Yes's crib here in sunny, beautiful San Diego, California. So we had to just do it right here. That wasn't pre-recorded. We do shit. I know you're shocked. You're absolutely shocked at the fucking beauty that you just witnessed and the perfect notes, pitch. You know, I know if we were in front of the American Idol judges, for example, the original American Idol judges, Simon Cowell would have given us a standing applause.
We would be going to Hollywood. Clearly going to Hollywood.
Yeah, we'd be going to Hollywood. Which is funny. I always think, once you live in Hollywood, you think that shit is ridiculous because Hollywood's such a dump. You're like, Hollywood, really? They're excited to come here?
Going to Hollywood the first time, I just remember it was like, the glitz that you think of is not fucking true at all. Like, you drive up Santa Monica from the 101 and it's like just a slum, dude. You know, it's like...
Right.
That's kind of what I like about it, because I didn't like Hollywood at first, and it kind of grew on me, and once I saw the grittiness of it, that's kind of what made me appreciate it more.
Right. Hollywood and Los Angeles in general, unlike San Diego, which you come here once and you just love it, you got to get... Hollywood is like... Los Angeles in general is like one of those friends you meet at first, and you're like, I don't know about this motherfucker, but once you get to know them, they're real cool, you know? But this is episode 10, y'all. I'm here. Introduce yourself real quick, Herbs. I know you've already spoke, but who gives a fuck?
Herbal T, brother of Wax, and husband of the following guest.
I'm Yes. I'm the wife of Herbal T, sister-in-law of Wax.
And we're back. Episode 10. 10 is an important number for some reason. It's the way they measure everything in the metric system. And like I say every week, you thought that 9 would be the worst, the last. You thought that I wouldn't be back, but I'm back, and I'm beating the shit out of that dead horse. At this point, I am actually holding an urn full of fucking horse ashes, and I'm getting ready to go to the farm that I grew up on as a kid that has sentimental value to me and sprinkle them there, and FPS Russia is with me crying. Jesus Christ. All right, I think that's the last time I'm going to do the dead horse joke.
You're beating a dead horse with the beating a dead horse joke.
Right, yeah, right. Man, there's fucking entendres abound. Mm-hmm. Entendres abound. But anyway, yeah. So hopefully this turns out good. If it doesn't, it is what it is. But, you know, I wanted to mix it up. Like I said last week, have some guests. I happen to be coming down here today because... Why was the reason I was coming down here today, Herbs? Because we have some new...
T-shirts. T-shirts. Wearing mad T-shirts. T-shirts.
Yes, we have what we're calling the fall line. The fall line of Wax and Herbal Tea / Scrub Life T-shirts, which will be available in the next couple of days. So I had to come down here and shoot a fucking horrible promotional video like we always do for the T-shirts.
I think the T-shirt promotional videos should always be horrible.
Good.
I like that.
Anybody who hasn't seen our promotional videos for our T-shirts, just what would you search? Just like Wax and Herbal Tea T-shirts.
Yeah. They're we have a certain fucking... You know, they have a certain vibe, just dumb as fuck. Dumb.
Yeah.
Dumb.
Yeah, and I'm actually the videographer, maybe director of most of these videos, and you can see my talents.
And it is nothing to be proud of.
No, I think
proud of. Although I did study, I actually did work in that. So
yeah, no, actually she knows what she's doing.
That's what's really sad
She
about
knows
it.
how to make it perfectly stupid.
Yes.
Yeah, so keep your eye out for that. I'm not exactly sure when the video is going to come out, but within the next couple of days... There are 2 designs, each with 2 different colors, and they're actually really dope. They're actually really dope shirts. The best shirts. They're definitely the best shirts we've got.
The funny thing is how it's a fall line, and we didn't plan it to be fall colors, but they're all fall colors. Like, they're like, it just worked out perfectly.
The color of a cornucopia that's on your Thanksgiving hearth.
The cornucopia of T-shirts.
But yeah, so we don't really have like that great of a plan right now, but. You know, it's not. I don't usually get to have a guest on here, and now I got my guest, Herbal Tea, as many of you know, is actually my twin brother. Was inside of a woman's stomach with this dude.
Ironic that we have this almost ready to pop stomach right here.
Yeah, for those that don't know, I mean, most people probably wouldn't know, but Yes is not literally 9 months pregnant, right?
Yeah.
Like any day.
39 weeks.
We may have to interrupt this podcast for a delivery of a baby.
Yes,
Could happen.
it is entirely possible. That could happen.
No, but that's fucked up if you think about it that way. Like, you look at her belly right here and think that we were both in one of those together at the same time.
Like
There's
pushing
not.
each other away, like, get out of my space, bro. You're
Yeah.
invading me. Yo, have you seen the reality show with the conjoined twins? Abby and Brittany?
I have not seen that.
Oh, I haven't seen the show on TV, but Davey came over the other day and showed me, like, dude, gotta watch
I've heard of it.
Gotta watch it. Looks crazy.
Where are they conjoined?
16-year-old girls are normal as far as
I think I
something
know.
is concerned, but it looks like a two-headed person.
You guys could have
I
easily
sound
been
like
conjoined.
I sound like mean or whatever, but I'm just saying.
No, I mean, what are you gonna,
And
I don't want to say freak of nature, like to say freak, but I
the
just don't know another. I just don't
yeah.
know another way to say it. As far as like, yeah, as far as freak meaning statistically unlikely.
When people say freak accident,
yeah, exactly.
like, and they have two heads, two hearts, and like two sets of lungs. But like when they get to the bottom, they got like one vagina. They have two legs and two arms. So like there's the left arm that the left one controls and the right arm that the right one controls. And they can't like if she were to touch this one, she can't feel it. Like, people that are listening, I'm using my right arm to touch my left arm, and they have to they drive a car together.
That's
But they
crazy.
only
That must be
control
tough.
one of
Like
the arms.
if you were trying to drive a car with your right arm and someone else was sitting in the driver's seat with their left arm and you're trying to control the car.
But dude, these bitches are in sync. Like dude, you got to watch this one part. They swing a baseball bat, and for any 16-year-old girl to hit the fucking ball with that kind of fucking major league ass swing that they do, I'd be impressed. Just because it's a girl, and it's a conjoint, and dude, they're beasts with a baseball bat. It's amazing.
I mean,
It's real inspirational,
If
man.
you don't know any different, I mean, that's all they know, so that's
Exactly.
what they've adapted to.
I can relate to that on a very,
interesting.
not even close to what they're going through, but the idea that you can't, you only live your life. So when because people always ask me, and
Right, I know
like,
where you're going.
Yo,
Yeah.
so what's it like to be a twin? There's no comparison because I've never not been one. So for them, they're like, people are like, yo, it must be crazy being a conjoined twin with two heads. And they're like, well, I mean, it's all I know.
Right. They have no idea what it's like to live your life. How would to
For
you,
them, it's like, damn, it must be crazy to have your
own control of
Yeah.
two arms. Yeah.
Yeah.
But they actually said that exact thing on the show. They
good.
said that
It's
same
true.
thing.
What about, like, shitting and stuff? Like, how does that work? They only have one, like, butt and one vagina?
They have one. They definitely have one vagina.
like
their
one-
anatomy can be found online. Their whole anatomy,
Interesting.
and it V's up. It's kind of fucked up to say, but it looks like there's one
like the
that's
letter
straight.
Y?
There's one. No, it's like the letter Y. If you wrote one of the things straight up. If you wrote it's like if you took the capital I, but then kind of added like the side of a Y. Like, it looks like one of them was stapled onto the other one. Man, it looks
like
like
a
one
person
of them,
with
yeah.
someone growing out of the side of them.
Yeah.
Okay.
One of them is
Yeah.
clearly like taller and
So
straighter.
maybe one of them actually doesn't have the bottom half of the body and it just belongs to one of them?
I wonder, like,
I don't know.
yeah, I
guess
wonder,
not,
like, what.
'cause they have to be the
Right.
The one thing,
right,
the thing
right,
that
I
the
gotcha.
first question I have is like sex and masturbation, like who feels what, who feels more.
I think shitting is interesting too because if they have one, all right, if you're two people, do you need to eat for two and then
They
you
have two
shit
stomachs.
twice?
I know for a fact they have two stomachs.
But
But it's
and
come
they
out of
possibly
one
possibly
spot.
comes out of one spot. That means they shit
Right.
twice as much.
Right. It makes, I don't know, dude. I'm not a fucking doctor, scientist,
Yeah.
anatomist, or whatever, but you could find out the answers to all those questions.
You know what's incredible is that you're saying that they're like in their teens, like just surviving as
16.
that, and then
Well, that's why they're able to have a reality show, because it's not weird for them to get stared at everywhere. Everywhere
Yeah.
they go, they get stared at. I mean, if you saw
yeah.
them,
How could
would-
you not? Even if you're like
and
a
they
person
accept it, they're
who's-
like, I can't blame them, you know?
yeah, even if you're a person who's not like a judgmental person and you treat all people, it's so unlikely to see something like that you're like, wow, that's crazy, you know?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's good for them to be out there and saying, hey, I am who I am and I'm doing my thing, and I think that's great because,
I agree.
we need to be exposed to things that are different instead of shunning them or hiding from them, and that's just the world we live in, you know?
Right,
Yeah,
right.
true.
They're pretty, they seem like pretty, besides the fact, they at least seem happy. I mean, seemingly, I don't know.
Good for them.
But what do I know? Let's talk about some other stuff. I got you here, Herbs, and we were thinking beforehand, since some of the people listening to us are familiar with our music and stuff like that, that maybe we'll just kind of go through our life, like a real quick, brief bio. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So, how do you want to go through this process? You want to kind of take turns talking?
Yeah, we'll just take turns and, freestyle it.
All right, I'll start. We were born in Washington, D.C., and we were born and then given up for adoption. And when we were 2 months old, we were adopted. And then we lived in Upper Marlboro, Maryland for a while. Then we moved to Dunkirk, Maryland when we were still little kids. And we basically grew up in Dunkirk, Maryland. Mm-hmm. So, and it's a pretty regular, suburban, safe...
It's regular, but Dunkirk, Maryland is part of a place... it's a place called... It's in Calvert County, Maryland, and it's kind of like regular and suburban, but especially after leaving it, you realize that it's kind of like a small town and that a lot of people never leave and everyone knows each other.
Right.
So there's like this certain, like... a lot of people that have been there for generations, or they just like, everyone intermarries and they just live there. Their kids live there, and it's it's kind of an interesting
place. It's rapidly
place.
Changing though.
I know.
It's much different now than it was then. It's kind of like it's become like this, like more like the way Bethesda. It's like the redneck Bethesda. It's like yuppie. It's rich. For
those listeners, Bethesda is a very rich suburb of Washington D.C.
Right, and since we were kids, where we grew up has gotten much like that. Because it's a great place to raise kids.
It's a great place.
Fucking safe.
I grew up in the opposite, in cities, and just from an outside perspective, I've always been amazed at how much you guys keep in touch with all your friends and how people don't lock the doors. Like, when I come to your parents' house, like, I would always be locking your parents' house, locking them out of the house because without thinking, I just locked the door, and your mom is like, why is the door locked?
That's actually not common, though.
Yeah.
Most people lock their doors. I don't... Yeah, you should. But no, most people don't know where my parents live. I hope not.
They do lock
Fucking
them
weirdos. Stop trying to find where my parents live.
I know.
But it is weird. That most people even there do lock their doors. I think that's something
really?
That's our parents do. It's weird. You know what I mean?
No, but I think she's right though that there's not. You know what I would equate that to.
There's not a lot of there's no break-in. The only crime there is like some dude fucks up and murders his whole family or something like that.
Or it's
crazy
like a bar
people.
fight or something.
Yeah.
Dude, like being in San Diego and there's lots of there's lots of nature, like ravines and canyons and shit. But if you go down in any sort of natural area, you're gonna randomly see like bums and shit living everywhere.
Right.
Like behind our parents' house and all over where we grew up, like there's just miles, miles and miles of forests, and there's no fucking way you're gonna see a bad guy. There may be hunters or something like that out back in the woods.
Or a kid smoking weed.
Yeah, you're either you're not gonna see someone that's gonna fucking, not a homeless person that lives back there and is smoking meth. I mean, there may be kids smoking meth, but they're probably 14-year-old fucking idiots. Like, not that I ever smoked meth, but we were the fucking idiots back in the woods doing dumb shit.
Right. It's an interesting place. It's like I had talked about on the podcast before. Like they had the buffet at McDonald's. I thought that enough alone justified it being a weird place. But so where am I at? Oh, so we're growing up.
We're growing up.
We're in like elementary school and such. And what are we doing? We're like skateboarding.
Yeah, we were interested in music from a very, very young age. And I think one thing that's interesting is...
You had like a drum set when you're... Like a kid drum set when you were a kid.
I did. And I always think back, like literally when I was 5, like being like... Or even 5, 6, 7, me and you wanting to be musicians and seeing like MTV and being... Like when we first got MTV. And like our parents are not really... they're not really that into music. So like basically my point is I think that a lot of like music and some of your interests in general, but specifically music, is something that you're kind of born with and in the blood. You know what I mean? Like, because we were never really brought up to listen to rock and roll or really get into music and play music because we never really grew up around that. You know what I mean?
Right.
But somehow that was like something I was attracted to since I was like 4 or 5.
Yeah, I don't know what it is. I mean, we had MTV. MTV was a big influence, I would say. And we used to buy. But remember, like when we were kids, like if it was our birthday or Christmas, me and you would buy each other a present. But as really little kids, it was like I'd buy you a present, but Dad would buy it or something like that, and we'd buy each other an album.
It was always like basically
We just tell each other.
For birthday, we'd get each other a tape or whatever, and it'd be basically like what we're really doing is buying the two of us 2 tapes.
Right, exactly. You know? Being a twin is fucked up on holidays where you get gifts. Because I remember for Christmas sometimes we get all the time, Christmas, birthday, you open the present and me and him would have the exact same toy. Like exactly the same. We're just like we don't need 2 of these. You know what I mean? Like it was cool when somebody gave us like remember when the illest shit was when Grandma got us Jordans, because Mom and Dad would never give us like shoes that were from like Kmart.
There was 2. It was a blue pair and a red pair.
Yeah, I got the blue ones. I remember that because they were kind of the iller ones.
No, the red ones.
The Carolina joints.
The red ones were the ones that he fucking wore. The Bulls ones.
Right, but my point is that was
occasionally
cool. That was cool. They switched it up. It's the same, but it's different. It's the same, but it's different.
But sort of the same. When you get a present. And this is almost like when your birthday is like December 24th and you get a present for like Christmas and your birthday, but it's one present. I remember actually getting presents that were to Mike and Chris. Those are our names, by the way.
That's so lame.
And it'd be like to Mike and Chris, and it's one present.
But you can also give that way from Mike and Chris.
From the both of us, I remember.
I know we used to get our sister's name is Jennifer. We definitely would give her one present
that way. We would also
not now.
If you go to the card section of like Hallmark or just like your grocery store, there's those from the both of us. You know, I think they're designed for couples, but we used to do that like for like Mother's Day and shit. Just get one card from the both of us. Like
we did that
Mike
too,
and Chris.
My sister and
I think that's common. I think that's
That's a little more normal. But that's a nice perk, I guess.
So when was it that we started like doing music? You know what I remember getting a guitar when I was 10 from our godfather John. I had asked for a guitar and he got me a guitar. It was a classical string guitar, and my little fucking fingers could barely push the frets of the fretboard.
Yeah, just like that one there too.
Yeah, it's exactly a lot like that one.
Looked just like that one. But that was about. I started playing percussion. I mean, I kind of earlier, but officially, like when I was in 4th grade, I was playing in the school, like with school, like playing in the band.
Snare drum,
xylophone. You know, the cymbals that you got, the crash cymbals. You got 2 cymbals and you crash them together. I remember those being so fucking heavy. When you're 8 and you have those 2 big ass crash cymbals that you hold, those things are really, really heavy.
I remember. I don't remember that, but you know what I remember about middle school. I did because I was never in the school band. I was in the jazz band.
That's right.
I was in
high school. I was moving forward.
No, that was in middle school.
No, that was in 8th grade.
That was in 8th grade in middle school. We're called the Swinging Jazz Cats, and I played guitar, which was kind of cool because there was no guitar in school. You know, I just kind of. I was like, yo, can I be in the jazz band?
Yeah,
we played Killer Joe. We played Chameleon.
We played Chameleon.
Do.
It's Killer Joe. Ba, ba, na, ba.
Yeah, it's just two chords. It's just
Yeah, that's right.
But the command. I mean, think about like Herbie Hancock's version and like what our middle school version probably sounded like.
I would love to have, because I played drums in a jazz band, but I remember there was like 3 drummers and we would rotate songs. But I played on Chameleon, and it was the beat was like. I would love to see our version and how horrible it was.
Right. So that's 8th grade, and about the same time in 8th grade, we were actually playing at the house, and I think that you had a drum set.
Yeah, I started playing as a drummer. I mean, I know probably if any of you are familiar with our background as musicians, you think of me as a bass player, but I started as a drummer. And in middle school, probably 7th, 8th grade, when Mike started playing guitar, we actually started a band where I was playing drums, you were playing guitar, and our boy Rich was playing bass. And we were called the Pork Noodles. Yep. I remember the name. Yep.
We played at a birthday party.
And I remember at that birthday party, we were about 12 or 13 years old. The girl whose birthday it was, her like drunk old redneck hippie uncle
He broke something.
He was like, go get some play guitar or something like that. You know? And so he took your guitar and he played one song, like we were just like jamming, like me and Rich were playing like some dumb shit, and he broke like 3 strings, like one song. Like he was just like I don't know how you even do that, just playing.
That. And we were mad, but we were kids. It's like, what are you gonna do? Beat up this drunk uncle guy? I think it was Joe Biden that was actually there.
See, that's a very Calvert County thing to happen, I think, is have the drunk uncle come and like jam with you when you're in like, what were you, 8th, 9th grade? And then break your shit.
That is. There's some weird stuff going on in,
very typical.
in that area. I'm telling you.
That's a story I didn't know.
Anybody that grew up there can.
Something I didn't know.
Anybody that grew up there can attest to that. You know, it's a Calvert County story I was thinking about the other day. It was fucking hilarious. It has nothing to do with anything we're talking about. I just want to tell it real quick. There was this place that we'd go to. It was in a town called Huntingtown. We had a bunch of boys from a town called Huntingtown. Same kind of town, kind of a suburb that had a lot of woods. And when all the kids would do drugs, they'd go back in the woods. So we were going back in the woods this time, not to do like hard drugs. This time we're just going to go smoke weed or whatever. But you have to go through this trail. And there's this one part on the trail. Our boy Joe, I won't say his last name, but our boy Joe was the guy that kind of it was behind his house. But there's one part of the trail where there's this tree. And the tree is like a cactus. Like around the whole tree is spikes. You know, and every time there was a new person coming back to this place where we used to go back there and smoke weed, every time we'd get to that part where that tree was there, fucking Joe would all of a sudden turn around and flip out and go, "Quick, everybody grab a tree!" And like he'd grab a tree that was next to him. And there'd be some new guy, he'd make sure like he was standing next to that tree, he'd fucking grab that tree and he fucking just cut his fucking hands up. Just grab the cactus tree. The stupidest shit. I don't know what made me think of that.
Dude, that dude Joe is fucking crazy.
He's awesome, man.
He always had shit like that. He had,
I haven't talked to him in so long, man. He's the shit. He's a good guy.
He used to pretend that there was this like little Russian orphan boy that lived in the woods named Varishnikov. Remember that? He'd be like, "Varishnikov!"
Dude, I totally remember that. We were crazy, man. We throw sticks at each other. We had our game was called Stick Fight.
Yeah, it was go in the woods and throw sticks at each other.
And the game ended when somebody got seriously injured.
Yeah. Dude, we would build huts in the woods and we would have big, usually controlled fires, but they weren't really fucking controlled. We actually had some friends that burned down a bunch of acres of woods.
Right, we did.
But
I always liked when we burned the milk crates. And then the plastic drips. All you suburban idiots out there know exactly. I can't make the noise. The noise that the dripping plastic makes. And it forms into that. Whatever. Where were we at as far as the music or whatever?
We just gone through the pork noodles.
Oh, yeah.
We're getting into high school.
Yeah, we wrote our best song was called Star World Video Girl. The local video store at that time was called Star World Video. Before it was called Blockbuster. And now it's probably called like non-existent, but it's we had a song called Star World Video Girl and it was about the hot girl who worked there, this hot older chick who probably was 15. You know what I'm saying?
She was an older girl, 15 and a half.
Yeah, she was in high school.
Yeah,
Star World Video Girl.
She was she was fine as shit though.
So that happened, and what else are we doing at this time? We're like skateboarding. Yeah,
the things we were into, we were into skateboarding and music. And that was pretty much...
Once we got into high school, I think the marijuana stepped up.
Yeah, we
were experimenting with other things. We started... I don't know why we stopped playing with Rich. I don't know what happened there. We still did.
Yeah.
But I think you started playing bass, and then our boy Fraze got real serious playing drums. Like, he was real serious.
I kind of started like... our boy Fraser started playing drums later than me, and I kind of taught him some stuff. But he eventually got much better than me.
He was a beast.
And I just started kind of playing bass because we would just go to our boy Fraser's house and just jam out. And he was playing drums, so I just kind of picked up the bass. And, that was that. I still played drums. I actually played remember I played in that punk rock band at the same time.
Right.
Fruit Truck. I played in a punk rock band called Fruit Truck, where we were playing like No Effects styles, actually No Effects and Rancid covers and stuff like that.
Right.
And
some originals.
We had
Mr. Popular.
Yeah, we had some originals too. It was like punk ska. If you're familiar with No Effects and Green Day, it's basically shit like that. But then
the lyrics, our boy Sean was the songwriter in that band, and the lyrics of Mr. Popular, where you think you're better than me, you think you're too good for me. What are you gonna do when I beat your ass, Mr. Popular?
That's right. Yeah.
That was the fucking lyrics. Think you're better than me? Think you're gonna what are you gonna do when I beat your ass?
Yeah.
That was awesome. So that band, what were we playing? We played like we were kind of all over the place. We were kids. We were just experimenting. We have jams.
Didn't you guys play at the McDonald's opening?
We did.
That was McGregor, right?
We did.
Our band was called McGregor, and we started actually in high school as just a trio, but then we just kept that name for so fucking long and developed into like a much more serious thing years later.
Right. We should have dropped the name. The name sucked.
The name was god awful.
But yeah, we played when we were 15. We played at the Grand. I told this story before on the podcast, so I won't go too far into it. But we played at the grand opening of the McDonald's in Dunkirk, Maryland. We opened up for like Grimace and the Hamburglar, and
there is a video of that, by the way.
Yeah.
Yeah. When are you gonna?
I gotta digitize that shit. I think it's in a box somewhere in the house.
One of our boxes somewhere.
I should look for it. I just need to look for it and digitize it.
Yeah, that'd be crazy to watch.
We could pop that up online, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So we did that, and then we're going through high school. Me and you were good in high school. We got pretty good grades.
Good grades.
I think that we probably could have gotten straight A's if we like gave a shit. If we if we applied ourselves more.
Yeah.
Like we were good students. We went to college and shit like that after that, you know.
Well, you guys.
We were honor students. We were like
Right.
good. We were in the smart classes, as they say.
Right.
Well, both. One thing people don't know: Wax and Herbal Tea are smart as shit. You guys are smart, and that's why you were able to get away with smoking weed all the time and drinking, and still get good enough grades to go to college.
Right.
Basically.
But what I'm saying is, if that's the case, what do you think would have happened if we would have not done all that? I think maybe you get smarter through some of that shit.
Maybe
though.
you would have gone to like Harvard. I don't know.
I don't know. It's
I
a
think
tough
some
call.
of that. I think some of that stuff makes you smarter.
I think it can open
Because
your
you
minds
learn things
in a different way.
You learn about things that other people square people don't know about.
I think it makes you more
Different kinds of
open-minded.
music, you know.
Yeah, different music, different ways of seeing the world and thinking about things. That's definitely
I think so.
important. But it might not help you.
But I
pass
think
the
it does
SATs,
kill brain
but-
cells, and I think there is a long-term memory effect.
Oh,
as
yeah.
far
Yeah.
as like the straight up memory.
But what I'm saying is like, when you're in 9th grade, and you fucking smoke a bunch of weed, and you like listen to Pink Floyd, like you're learning right there.
No, that's true.
Maybe the problem is, for me and you, we were learning because we are like artist type of people anyway. Whereas some people, if they don't have much, like them to learn about that, it'd be better if they were learning about something that's more practical. I don't fucking know what I'm talking about, but you know what I'm saying.
Meaning that the fact that you now make a living off music, it was an education for you.
For me, fucking doing acid and listening to Pantera was a fucking educational experience. Because now I know what it's like to be high. I know what it's like to listen to music high. I know what it's like to, you know what I'm saying? Like,
whereas people might be doing that same thing. I'm not endorsing this, but people might be using drugs and they might listen to your music and you don't understand what that's like.
Right.
Yeah.
It's just demographic.
I mean,
targeting.
I didn't smoke weed or really drink a lot in high school, and I think if I had, I probably wouldn't have done well at all. I probably would have not made it into college,
And yeah, I know people that did that same
I'm
thing.
a slacker
That stuff
as it is.
affects, and that
It
stuff affects
everyone
everybody differently.
And I'm glad I didn't. I mean, I waited. When I was in college, I did all that, but I didn't do it in high school.
Think about it this way. The whole concept of being quote unquote burnt. Like, I knew kids in 9th grade that were burnt. They've been smoking weed since 8th grade, and they're fucking burnt. But like some people I know that are fucking 40 and 50 years old, been smoking weed every day since the fucking 70s, and they're sharp as a tack. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, you never know. Everything affects everybody differently.
Yeah.
I mean, that's goes without saying, I suppose. But okay, let's get back to the story a little bit. We veered off a little bit.
So you're in college. You're in McGregor.
Yeah, we went from high school. We were playing in McGregor.
High
We
school
did.
and college, sorry.
We do need to move the story along. I think you're right. we did do like we organized our own festival, which I thought was cool. That we did every year,
the
Mayfest.
I played at the Mayfest.
And we that was pretty cool. We went to college and continued to play in our band, and eventually added horns. and we got more and more into funk. Not that we always had funk and rap in our music, even when we were little kids.
Right.
But we also had like
me and you, like, we listened to everything, and we never really thought that you had to fucking separate everything all the time, I guess.
Yeah, like I said, I was playing in that punk ska band, and I listened to that kind of music, but we were in the other band I was playing, where I was playing bass, we were playing rap funk music, and I was that's when me and you were really into funk. Not that I've always been into it since then, but that's when we first discovered like the Ohio Players and P-Funk and all that stuff.
Yeah, I think I mean, goddamn, even into college and all that shit, I missed a lot of, like, there's so many, like, rock bands that were on the radio and even hip-hop that was on the radio that I missed because all I gave a shit about was funk. That's all I cared about. But I did, like, at that same time, I was listening to, like, I guess that was when, like, maybe Mos Def was, Raucous Records was out. Maybe that was earlier than that. I don't know.
No, you're right. We were listening to Kweli and underground hip-hop type shit.
Right.
But
even, like, well, later in college, when you started listening to Tony
Hold on one second. Sorry about that, y'all. Technical difficulties. It's a new computer system, you know what I mean? Whoa, what was that? Did you say something?
Yeah, he did say something.
I said pause in some dumb way. I'm sorry.
Oh, I thought I fucking... I didn't know what that was.
I don't know. Don't worry. Just proceed, dude. I don't know what I'm saying.
No, it wasn't that it was weird. I just couldn't... I thought that there was like a
pause
fucking...
in some dumbass way.
Oh, okay. All right, whatever. But
I didn't mean you just pause as in we paused the podcast.
So basically, after college, the band kind of... It was kind of like people had... Everybody had their other ways they wanted to go and blah, blah, blah.
Throughout college, we had been touring and shit. We did a lot of cool stuff with the band. We toured and went... we went to the Midwest. We went to Florida, and we went around the East Coast several times.
Yeah, we went to that whole northern leg a bunch of times up through New York and Boston.
We played Detroit, Cleveland, and Chicago a bunch of times.
In North Carolina. We went to Omaha.
The furthest west we went was Omaha, but we never got to the West
Chicago
Coast.
A couple times.
Had a lot of fun.
We had a lot of fans in Cleveland, a lot of fans in Baltimore. We had a good fan base in New York, Chicago.
Especially Baltimore.
Yeah, and everybody in the band, well, not everybody in the band, but the core unit of the band, we're still like best friends to this day, and it's all good. Matter of fact, Fraser's like producing, our drummer Fraser, he's gonna be on both of our albums producing shit.
Yeah,
he's a beast ass musician.
Yeah.
But anyway, long story short, even though the story's already been super long, you can't really say that, but we break up, and me and you start working on our first Wax and Herbal Tea album, Grizzly Season.
Yes.
And that is done half in Baltimore and half in San Diego when we moved to San Diego.
Yeah.
And that ended up being a really crazy and I would say a very original album.
Yeah. That was you guys that have not heard it, go check it out.
You might hate it. It's very possible you won't like it. A lot of people... They saw, like, they went back after seeing the Wax videos on YouTube, and they were expecting something different. Like, they expect, like, even because they might have heard Liquid Courage, and that's more of a, like, straight hip-hop because it's EOM beats and you rapping. And then they might go back and see Grizzly Season and be like, what the fuck is this bullshit? But, it was what it was. It was a very, very unique album, very creative. I think it was incredible. I am very, very proud of it. When you're you don't have to be somebody's twin brother, but when you're somebody's kind of like lifelong musical partner, you kind of develop a thing where you can almost do inside jokes. And most of the music on that album was almost like an inside joke that I don't know that we really even expected anybody to ever hear.
Yeah.
But we did make a fucking music video for the song Decadent, which was actually the first video we ever put on YouTube. We didn't even have our own channel. It's on a channel called Tramuel, Tramuel. Look up Wax and Herbal Tea, Decadent, and you'll find it on Tramuel. It's the fucking rawest, illest. It's an ill music video.
It was almost, it was almost like we had, like you said, it was like tongue-in-cheek personalities where we were like being these characters almost. It was almost like some like, character rap like some people do nowadays, like fucking Dirt Nasty type shit, almost something like along those lines. But
I'll stand by it all.
But I'll stand by it all day. I was
gonna
say more lyrical, which is true. I mean, that might sound cheesy or whatever, but that's what it was. I mean, we were. I thought that video was incredible, personally.
Which is since the advent of YouTube, me and Herbs have had many videos that we thought were gonna be like the one. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
The one, like
and a lot of ones
the joint that makes us huge. You know what I mean?
Well,
and
we thought Decadent
300 fucking videos or whatever later. I mean, I guess I've had one. You know what I mean? Kind of recently.
You had some good ones. A lot of good
But I'm
ones.
saying, like, I never had fucking...
Well, Decadent's just fun and crazy. And
I never had Chocolate Rain. You know what I'm saying? Videos like that.
I mean, Rosanna is the biggest one. And then there's a couple other ones, but then...
New Crack. And
Decadent was the first video, and that was back... Was it fucking 2006?
I don't know.
Something like that. But whatever it was, we thought it was going to be... We really thought that we were going to put that out, and we would be, like, famous after that.
Right. This was like when the term viral... Who knows if that term had even been invented yet.
This was before YouTube was what it... Like, YouTube had just come out, and I remember seeing, like, a Timothy De La Ghetto thing talking about YouTube, where he was like, I remember YouTube came out, and I was like, yo, this is crazy. I can put videos so they can go on my MySpace page. Right. It was like, so he could put a video and embed it on his MySpace page. That was the purpose of YouTube then. It wasn't what it is. And we used to watch rap battles that were like actual, not even what rap battles are now. There were street battles.
Right.
And
if you were rapping, if you were rapping on YouTube, it's either because somebody pirated your music video, or there might have been like a channel or two, or there was DVDs. Like Smack DVD was like a fucking actual DVD. And people pirated that and put it on random YouTube channels.
Exactly.
But the concept of like having your own YouTube channel and rapping to a camera in front of it was A, not really existent, and B, nerdy as fuck. Yeah. In 2006, 2007, being a YouTube rapper was some nerdy ass
It didn't
shit.
exist. And it was like when we did Decadent, the next video we did was called Wax Spittin'. That's what it was eventually called. It was when...
Was that on our channel?
No, that was on my channel. That was on the channel that I don't even want to... My username, some dumb fucking CW Jones 20754. That was a shocker. That was the username. But that was when me and Yes moved right after we moved to San Diego.
I haven't watched that video in forever.
And I guess you had just moved
I'd probably
there.
be embarrassed to watch that video.
No, that video is tight. That video is tight. But
this was when we were living in California, and we shot him. We just hang out at our house, and you guys would be drinking beers and be like, let's shoot a video.
Right.
Yeah, we would shoot videos of like of rap, and
that video was even before the Vibe contest, huh? Yeah, because the Vibe contest was what really made us go like, yo, there's something here.
Yeah, and then there was the first one on our channel was the one with the emu purple box, the boom, 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 boom.
Wax Spits Fury.
Wax Spits Fury.
By the way, I wanted to make this point. I thought of this a couple weeks ago. There's the most common email I get from people for this podcast is about, I'm trying to be a rapper. I want to do this. How do I blow up? How do I promote myself? How did you blah, blah, blah? And just listen to what we're saying, and I want you to know this. That video, that Wax Spits Fury video, when we first put that shit up there, it had like 50 views. Then like a month later, it had 100 views. And like when we got a comment, that was like crazy. We were like, who is this motherfucker? Who's this guy?
Yeah,
who the fuck is this guy? Like, what the fuck?
Like someone could have put a comment and be like, yo, this dude is nice. And we'd be like, oh,
we'd be like, oh, shit. Like we'd be giving each other fives and shit. Like, that shit does not fucking happen overnight, man. I know it's a whole different world now. It's the opposite. It's oversaturated.
Yeah, now they're like, this when we put that out, the idea of a YouTube rapper did not, that term and that concept didn't exist.
Like major label rappers and shit, they have like blogs. That would have been a fucking career suicide 6 years ago, 5 years ago. Yeah. It's crazy how shit has changed. People don't necessarily realize it. How much shit the YouTube. Now I'm not talking about just everybody was on the internet. Everybody had a .com was the originally you'd have a .com, then you'd have a MySpace. And then, eventually you could have like a YouTube. A YouTube might supplement some shit, but to like really be based in YouTube, it's still kind of nerdy, but
it's just the fact is it wasn't fucking long ago where people were buying CDs, watching DVDs, and like you had your Fabulous.com or whatever you had, just to say what shows you had and when your CD was going to be in stores. Like, that was only a couple years ago.
We put out Grizzly Season in 2006, and when we did that shit, we put it out on cdbaby.com. By the way, buy that
Still
shit.
there. There's only I can say
it's out of stock right now.
I forwarded you the mail. There's 4 copies left in stock.
I got some at the crib. I'll send more.
Yeah. So
But
there's
anyway,
very, very few left.
Anyway, that was 2006, and when we put that CD, like CD Baby is a company where, like, say for example, they're based in Washington. You send them a box of 50 CDs, and then when people order the CDs, their service is that they do all the sending and shit like that, and they keep a certain profit. But at that time, it was like 90% of your sales were physical. 10% were like digital. Digital was weird. People didn't trust. Like, you want me to put my fucking credit card on
The first thing was Amazon.
Wait, no, that's not true, because you would have to do that fucking for the other thing.
No, it wasn't that, but they didn't understand, like, because I remember the first thing that they did was Amazon. Like, you can go on Amazon.com and get the CD as a digital download, and people were like, "So I'm gonna pay money just to get some songs on my computer?" You know, like
right. And it was looked at. It's changed really fast. And people don't even recognize it. I mean, think of the fucking cell phone you had in 2006. Yeah. I don't know exactly right now what it was, but I know it was some whack shit. I know it was fucking terrible.
Yeah, I know it was probably then when the flip phone, Razor phones or whatever.
Like, remember
the shit?
Yeah, remember when the commercial was chocolate? Remember chocolate phones? Do you remember that?
Yeah, I remember.
Dave Ellis had one.
Did you even have? Did you even have a cell phone back then? Because Chris waited the longest time.
I did hold out on having a cell phone.
I waited a while too. Because we made fucking fun of him on tour. When we get on tour, we'd always say, "Can I have your bro?" Because Chris would always say, "Can I use your cell phone? Can I use your cell phone? Can I use your cell phone?" And then when you're talking about cell phones, I don't need a fucking cell phone or a cell phone. He'd be talking shit about cell phones, but he'd always want to use your cell phone.
Yeah, it's true.
Brian, use your bro.
Brian, use your bro. Brian, use your bro.
Brian, use your bro. Brian, use your bro. Brian, use your bro. So where are we at in the story?
Grizzly season, all that stuff.
Basically,
we should probably get going to the next.
But it's just it sucks though, because it's just getting interesting.
No, keep going.
We haven't gotten successful yet.
Oh, now we are.
I mean,
you are. I'm saying.
How are you not?
No, I am too. I didn't mean to sound bitter like that. That sounded all bitter and shit. No, it ain't like that.
Okay, so you made a lot of just rap videos for YouTube, and then the Vibe contest came up.
Yeah, so we did that, and then basically
that was a pretty big deal. That was an
I was here in San Diego, and I had some personal shit going on. I had a bad relationship ended, and I was.
Were you working with Fraser?
Yeah, I was working in construction, but it was cool. I loved the job, but I didn't love it enough that I was like, you know what? When I'm 50, I want to be doing this still.
Hell no.
I didn't want to be doing it forever, and I thought that like maybe
that's when to get into the rap lyrics. What the time they're talking about when they say, I saw the road worker next door, came home with an 18-pack of Miller High Life. I guess my life's headed down a path that's way too sim, allure, etc., etc., etc.
Right.
That's exactly when that
word for word.
You were living in that garage, working at that construction job, and there literally was a road worker that worked. Across the way.
Me and the homies that I lived with, I lived in the garage. We'd be standing at the stoop, and I can't remember his fucking name. But he was an older guy, late 40s probably, and he'd come home every single day still wearing his bright orange vest. And like usually when he opened, he couldn't even wait till he got home. When he's in the car drinking, when he gets out the car just to get home, there's fucking cans falling out and shit. And he'd always have an 18-pack. Every day he had an 18-pack. He lived alone. 18 beers a day, and I just looked at him. I was like, then I looked down at my beer. Looked down at my dirty ass fucking shit, and I just be like, damn, I don't want to be that dude. Ended up enrolling at the Los Angeles recording school, not because I wanted to be an audio engineer. I just wanted to learn that shit, and I wanted to be in LA. I wanted to be somewhere where I could focus on pursuing that shit. And goddamn, I mean, we probably should move on. I could talk about this shit for 4 hours. Like all the shit that's happened to me in LA. Like that's
maybe that'll be the next.
The next time I come down here, we can continue it, or next week maybe.
Time, yeah.
But
so to be continued.
Let me give like the 1 minute version. I'm gonna give the 1 minute version real quick. Got to LA, made mad YouTube videos, got noticed by some people, gained fans, was able to do shows, sold CDs, T-shirts, etc. Got a manager and shit like that. Eventually was able to make enough money where I didn't have to work a regular job, which was crazy. I was barely. I had to win like A1 steak sauce contest and shit. When I won that,
we were occasionally like giving you money.
Yeah. I felt horrible about that shit.
No, we didn't mind.
We didn't give a fuck. But we believed in you.
I just knew that, like, basically Wax is not capable of doing anything else. Like, this is just your destiny, and I knew that, and that's why we were willing to help you in any way we could, because we're like, we got it.
I
this is what you're supposed to do.
I appreciate that. And now I'm making more money doing it than I would have ever done at any of those other stupid jobs I've had.
Because it's your destiny.
Speaking of stupid jobs, yes.
Yeah.
What's a let's get off of this Wax and Normal T fucking lifelong story.
Yeah, we can continue and shit.
What's something that me and you share? What's something? First of all, I know you've had a lot of jobs. That's something me and you share. But there's one particular job that we would share.
Well, we both worked at McDonald's, different McDonald's. I was 16, I think. Maybe was I 15 or 16 when I worked there?
Probably 16.
How much did you make per hour when you worked there? Just out of curiosity.
Fucking minimum wage, which at that time was like fucking $4.75.
I made $4.10 an hour.
God damn.
Isn't that crazy?
Especially considering how shitty the job
ever.
was.
Oh, it was awful. It was a horrible place to work, and I literally worked there for 1 year, and I just decided to quit a year to the date, like my 1 year anniversary. I quit.
I didn't make it a year. I worked there for like 6 months.
I can't believe I made it a year.
I can't picture. It's so weird. I can't picture you doing it.
They used to make me take out the trash, and I know no one really knows me, but I'm not even 5 feet tall, and when I'm not pregnant, I weigh like 100 pounds. And they would make me take out the trash into the dumpster, which is maybe why I hate taking out the trash so much. It was disgusting. McDonald's trash is the disgusting, smelliest trash in the entire world.
It smells like, I know exactly the stench.
Yeah, I'll never forget that smell.
It's like if you took fucking a homeless man's ball sack and mixed it with celery. It'd probably be something like that.
Yeah, basically, it's exactly what that smells like, because I know it very well.
She knows homeless man's ball sacks with celery very well.
Yeah. I'm very familiar with that.
But that's something that me and Yes share. I wonder if anybody out there else has worked. I mean, there's so many. I'm sure a lot of people.
The one thing is, well, it was right down the street from my high school, so like a lot of people from my school.
Glen Burnie, right?
Yeah, in Glen Burnie.
Shout out to Glen Burnie, Maryland.
Yeah, I love Glen Burnie. I do.
Everybody up there in that whole area.
People hate on it, but it's a cool place.
I don't hate on it.
I love I mean, people still have like, Farrah Fawcett style hair and acid wash jeans, and that's what I love about that place. That will just never go away. Mullets galore. It's great.
So how far away is Glen Burnie from Dundalk?
From Dunkirk or
Dundalk?
Dundalk. You have to cross the bridge. I don't know, because I never.
Glen Burnie touches, if you know.
But it's very similar. Dundalk is even more.
Glen Burnie is very close to
80s
Baltimore.
hairstyle, like.
But Dundalk is right down from Baltimore. Dundalk is closer to Baltimore.
Isn't Glen Burnie?
Yeah, you have to cross
Glen
the
Burnie
bridge.
is too though, but Dundalk.
Is Glen Burnie close to Severna Park?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, Glen Burnie's by Severna Park.
Glen Burnie, you have to go from Dundalk. You have to go under the tunnel.
Away from where you guys grew up.
Right. It's very close to BWI, right?
Yeah, 20 minutes, half hour.
It's close.
Why am I fucking forgetting where Glen Burnie is?
It's close to Baltimore, man. It's like 15 minutes south of Baltimore.
Oh.
Yeah. Well, anyway, it's not really that interesting, but you will find lots of 80s hair, mullets, and
it does have a rep.
Lipstick.
Yeah, exactly.
And
is that like where Kay Watts used to live?
Yes.
Like Brooklyn, Maryland. Brooklyn,
that
Maryland.
that area.
Linthicum, Lansdowne.
That's even closer to Baltimore, but Lansdowne's close to Glen Burnie, and I think
Pasadena. Yeah, okay, I know exactly where that's at.
Yeah.
Kay Watts is from Glen Burnie.
I mean, it's not pretty, It's not pretty. Glen Burnie is not pretty. It's just kind of highway and, what would you call it? Commercial stores, like
suburban America.
Yeah.
But, so where else have you worked? Yes.
Well, let's see. I've had a lot of jobs, but in college, that was my high school job. I don't remember if I worked anywhere else in high school. College, I worked at this copy center, which was kind of hilarious, and I just remember I would go. That's when I started smoking weed, and I'm one of those people that I can't function when I'm stoned, and I would sometimes go to work stoned and just really screw up the orders so badly. I don't know how I didn't get fired, and I wouldn't even show up sometimes. I had the worst work ethic when I was in college. I didn't even care, and they didn't care. They never fired me. I could just get away with anything, and I guess that's why I did.
I remember when you worked there.
After college, I worked at the Baltimore Aquarium, and that was actually a really fun job. But
you worked with the dolphins closely.
Yeah, I did audio video audio.
You were the
visuals.
AV person for the
Yeah.
dolphin show
The
at
dolphin
the fucking
show.
Baltimore Aquarium, which is a fucking
The national aquarium.
one of the biggest best aquariums in the world as far as I
Great.
know, right?
It's the National
Yeah.
Aquarium.
Right.
It's located in Baltimore.
But and I did that. The working at the aquarium was cool. I got to work with really closely with the dolphins. I mean, I would actually some of them would really connect with me. Like I would walk by the dolphin pool and they would swim alongside me and like be totally making eye contact. I filmed 3 dolphin births actually, which was pretty cool.
Did you ever have a romantic relationship with a dolphin?
I considered it, but I didn't want to cheat on.
Did you ever finger the blowhole of a dolphin?
No.
Do dolphins have blowholes?
They do have blowholes, yes.
No, so what some people might not know about you also is that you're a musician.
Yes. Well, yeah, that's how I met you guys in college.
Mm-hmm.
And I was singing an open mic night, and I had just learned to play guitar. I probably sucked so bad. But I had a mutual friend, and
We thought she was awesome.
Yeah.
They just thought I had a cute butt. But
No, we thought she was
That's not true.
awesome.
That's not true.
But
I mean,
no,
that
we had
is
a mutual
true, but that's
friend.
not
But
the
I
only
learned
reason.
so much from you guys because my friend introduced us, and after that, I would just hang out with you guys, and we would just jam in your room. And like I remember you guys would just teach me something to play on guitar, and I would just play the same thing over and over again, and they would kind of improvise to it. And I mean, their room was like the music room. I mean, we had the most random people come in and play music. It was like people would play violin or trumpet or just bring flute, like whatever they had, they would just start jamming. And so I learned a lot and got way better at guitar from that. And and I write songs too. And we would always play music together. That's how we became friends.
It's a beautiful thing.
It's a beautiful
thing.
story.
The whole music thing. Let me. I know that it's just fun when you have your friends, like actually my fucking family, not even my friends.
I know.
We could talk for 4 hours,
Yeah.
but I see that the podcast is already getting a little lengthy. Let's move on to some shout outs. We're going to skip a couple things this week. We're going to skip Call Someone and Fuck With Them, and we're going to skip Wax's True Hollywood Stories. We just
that's
having a
fine.
good conversation. Let me get some shout-outs. Let me shout out to Yassine, Grant C, Mr. C, TJ Baller, Phil L, Scrody McBoogerballs, Younga B. Chi, Trevor from Sacramento, Mike in Grainfield, Kansas, Mike M, William L, Logan from the United States who made an awesome t-shirt design, Piers in the UK, Ghost in the Pines, Luke in England, Marvin from Austria, Louis Corvera, Kiana, Bert R, DJ Freddy, Cornelius G. Happy birthday to Giovanni. Happy birthday to you, Giovanni. I'll say it twice. Chris U, Emilio, Justin M, Bastion from Germany, Matt from England, Mark B, Andre T, Manny J, Junkie in San Diego, TJL, Jericho, Mike R, Joe in Brighton, Cosmic, and Danny from Denver. So let's do a question or two. I want to field some... I apologize to the people that sent a lot of music-related questions and stuff like that, because since I have a female present, I wanted to do some shit that might make it so that's a helpful thing. I got a couple of questions that could be useful. This one is from Evita. Hey, man. Let me just launch into the question. So I'm not exactly sure how to phrase this, but here we go. I'm chubby. I know it, the world knows it, but I'm damn pretty and I'm fucking hilarious, so it's all good. Last summer I started hooking up with this flawless ass dude. The problem is that he had way more experience than me and I felt super duper, all caps, insecure when we do anything because I'm the more flawed individual in the scenario. So I kind of just started avoiding him. He called me recently to see how I was, etc., but I just can't stop brushing him off because I am just so intimidated by him. Do you have any tips or suggestions that would help me stop being a douche, besides me getting wasted and passing out at his house? Haha, sincerely Chubby McChubbytown. First of all, let me start real quick. Evita, just the fact that you signed Chubby McChubbytown, you probably got an issue with your weight that dudes probably don't even have. Because as Chris knows, we like a little meat.
Well, I think
there's
there's a misconception among women that they see the models and the magazines and they're all skinny. Like, I don't know, but I mean there are dudes that like that shit, but I do not get turned on by like little skinny girls with long fucking toothpick legs. I
can't get into the skinny legs, man.
I would rather have I don't know like what chubby means in this case, but I would rather have a chubby girl than like some toothpick skinny girl by far, like any day of the week.
So that's me and Herbs' perspective. What I really want to hear is, yes, what do you think this chick could do to like help herself?
Well, first of all, from your email, you seem like a really cool girl, and this guy sounds like he's pretty interested in you. I think there's many situations in life where you might feel intimidated and you feel afraid, and sometimes you just kind of have to, just accept that you feel that way, but just do it anyway. I mean, it reminds me of a time that I was like on spring break in Jamaica, and there was this cliff diving. I've always been afraid of heights, and like I was like, I'm going to do it, and I literally crawled out onto the ledge, and everyone was like, oh my God, she's going to turn back. She's not going to do it. I could hear people whispering behind me, and I was so scared. And before I could even think about it, I just jumped. I was like, I'm scared to death, but I'm just going to do it anyway. And I would say, like, you should just go for it. You seem like you have a great personality. This guy's obviously attracted to you and interested in you. And you shouldn't sell yourself short. You're never going to regret taking that leap, but you will probably regret not doing it. You'll always wonder what could have happened, what could have become of it, even if it doesn't turn out the way that you want it to, because, but I can't see how it would turn out wrong. I think you should just go for it, learn from his experience, have fun, and, don't compare, physically yourself to him, because he obviously thinks you're beautiful and awesome. And I do think that, the magazines kind of give us this unrealistic view of what beauty is. But you got to remember, the people that run those magazines in the fashion world, they're gay men. So that's why all the models are these skinny women that have no boobs and no ass. They look like 12-year-old boys. So you got to remember that shit. It's so true.
That is
so you're saying that's almost like that's the only kind of woman they would want to fuck, is a woman who look like. By the way, props for saying take that leap when you're like just talking about you leaping off the thing.
It's true. And it's also, I mean, I could go on about this forever, but I think that when I do
experience
read,
in that
I read
world,
the fashion
you have
magazines,
some experience in the fashion world. You used to work.
I do, and I read the fashion magazines. I like reading. I love fashion. I think it's awesome. It's very interesting. But I also think that women who are really into fashion and dress in the most stylish clothes are just dressing for other women. Because guys, not only do they not give a shit about that, they have no idea who the most popular designer is. They prefer a girl that's just chill, easygoing, authentic, and smiles and has fun, and that sounds like the kind of girl you are. So I think you have everything you need. I don't think you need to worry about anything.
You go, girl. Suck that, girl. And suck the dick. Suck the dick. That's what a man worries about. He don't give a fuck if you're wearing Versace heels. Suck the dick.
Yeah.
There's no guy out there. Let's put it this way. There's no guy out there jerking off to Vogue.
Yeah.
No, not one.
But Victoria's Secret.
Not one.
Exactly. Victoria's Secret, and even what's run by men, like Playboy and Maxim and shit like that, that's just run by men, not gay men.
And those girls, I mean, they're still pretty skinny, but they have more curves, that's for sure.
Or like even more so like the
True.
the fucking car magazines, and B like the black ones, like King, you know what I'm saying, stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like Brian Washington always says, I'm not gonna say his racial joke because people get mad. Nah, fuck it. He always says, Brian Washington says, yeah, black is talking. His advice to white girls is, black dudes start checking you out, it's time to go to the gym.
That's hilarious.
All right, this is from Brody in Australia. By the way, thanks for the email, Avita. That was an awesome email. Go get your man.
Yeah.
This is from Brody in Australia. Dear Wax, if you can make 3 changes for the entire planet, what would those changes be and why? So I figured this would be a good one this week because we got 3 people here and we can each do 1 change. I don't know exactly how you would, like, if you can do anything, like, can you do something that's considered magical? Like, can I just be like, take away pollution? Make the world.
Yeah, I would that's say the idea.
I would say fucking dismantle all nuclear weapons and knowledge of how to make them, and fucking somehow fucking put a charge through the brains of all humans that will never know how to make that shit. Because that's just going to fucking kill us.
What about you?
See, I still think that even if you did that, you'd have to change the mindset of people, because we're so fucked up as a human race that we would figure out a way to mass kill each other.
I think that's probably true. Look at the history. We've always done it. Put soda in the water fountains.
What's the question? 1 change to the world?
It's a weird question. Change to the entire planet.
How about I got it. Somehow make it so that, this is fucking dumb, but I'm going to say it anyway. Make it so that we don't, like, need rain for crops to grow. And make it so that all the... Make it so that the weather is perfect everywhere all the time.
Oh, shit. Oh, my bad. I fell asleep. It was just so boring.
I think that we should tell all the nuclear arms people that we shouldn't get them. Because I think that if you took the nuclear weapons, that the people would be good and da 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 stuff.
Boring.
This is the kind of shit I've had to deal with for like most of my life now.
Fuck out of here, man.
No, go ahead, man. Go ahead, man. It just took you a little while to say it. It just took, just took.
Right.
No, my shit was dumb, man. Honestly, I was gonna say, but no, I take it. I'm gonna go for it. I already said it. Make the weather nice all the time, and basically it doesn't rain. But the reason is that you don't even need the rain somehow. Like the soil will grow the crops. You don't need the rain, and it just is like beautiful everywhere all the time.
Don't you think that the lack of rain would make it so over time that beauty wouldn't even be appreciated? Don't you need ugliness for beauty to be appreciated? Don't you need the rain for the sun to be appreciated?
I only thought about the question for fucking 20 seconds, man. You know? I can tell you this. I live in San Diego where it's beautiful all the time, and I think it's awesome.
But some people that grew up here, they don't appreciate it truly.
That's a fact.
They don't truly appreciate it.
No, that's true. The reason I think it's awesome is because I grew up in a place where they have snow and shit like that.
Where if you have an event, you have to have a rain date.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was a blizzard.
Oh, there's no rain date here. No, there's no fucking rain date.
Rain date.
Rain date.
You know, you have your wedding, and if it's outside, you have to have a rain date in case it rains.
Yeah.
Right. It's March 11th. Rain date March 18th. There's that doesn't exist in Southern California.
I didn't even know that.
Go ahead, yes.
All right. Well, for me, I'm kind of a yogi, so I guess mine's gonna be a little more yogi. But
What's a yogi?
Like yoga.
I know what it is.
Someone who's into yoga.
Is it a bear that steals picnic baskets?
Yogi bear. But no, just someone who does. I really am into the whole spirituality and philosophy of yoga, and I am actually a yoga teacher. But what I would say is having to do more with people's awareness of their inner selves, more awareness of your own intuition, and if people could really trust that intuition and look at the big picture instead of the immediate thing of money and power and all these things, because that's what's really destroying us. And I wish if people could really be aware of their breath, of their bodies. And you really, deep down, everyone knows when they're doing the wrong thing, but we're really good at ignoring that. And I guess that's kind of what I'm talking about. When you gain that inner awareness and that intuition, you kind of learn to recognize that. And when you're making a mistake or you're doing something for the wrong reasons, you know it. And you might still do it anyway, but at least you really know it and you can't ignore it. So that's what I would change.
Getting a little spiritual in here.
See, that's good. I didn't realize we could change the mind state of people.
You can do anything.
Well, I mean,
open question.
I no offense to Brody from Australia, but the question really needs more parameters. You know what I'm saying?
If we can change the mind state of people, I would go with something like Yes's answer, where I was thinking of the physical world that we can change. If we can change the mind state of people, that's a whole different question. But I agree with Yes completely.
Let's do a quick one real quick, Herbs. The question is for both Wax and Herbs. What's your favorite song you've made with your brother? I know what my answer is.
Mine is probably...
Let's do like 1, 2, 3,
Pay
answer.
Cut.
That was mine. Mine was Pay Cut. I was trying to tell you.
No, I thought...
See, you were more in tune with the twin thing than me, because I thought I was going to tell you 1, 2, 3, answer, then we do it. But you already knew what it was going to be.
Yeah, I got you.
I kind of knew that's what you guys were going to say.
Mine is by far Pay Cut, especially
Slow Crush though. I like,
especially the bridge of Pay Cut.
Slow Crush is one of my favorites too.
It's a great song.
The end of Slow Crush, the whole like outro, is
it's pretty crazy. Yeah.
By the way, Herbal Tea's verse on Pay Cut is not about me, because I am not materialistic like that.
No, it's not at all. He kind of had to make something.
No, I know. I'm just kidding.
And he fucking killed that shit.
It is. It's good.
Right.
The only French products you gonna get from me are fries and toast, bitch.
I would never call my wife a bitch because I'm a good man.
Yeah.
I'm a little lost. Where am I here? I had a lot of questions this week. I'm sorry for taking so long. I wanted to do some stuff that'd be more fitting for This one's kind of long, but it's like about a girl and shit. All right. Hey, Wax, insert praise and worship. Thank you, Mujo. This is from Mujo from Germany. I'll try to make this as short as possible. You must not have tried that hard, Mujo, because it's relatively long. It's like, I'm just kidding, man. But who knows? It could have been fucking a whole paperback best set. I don't fucking know, whatever. I'll try. So about a year ago, I wanted to meet this girl and I had known for 6 years. Hold up. So about a year ago, I wanted to meet this girl that I had known for 6 years.
He means meet, not as in like meet, like introduce, like meet, like meet her somewhere.
Oh, like date, like go out on a date.
Yeah, it might be a language thing.
Oh, yeah, it's a language thing. Yeah, he's from Germany, right? Sorry.
It's like the
sorry,
word conocer in Spanish, which
Yeah.
is to meet, but you wouldn't say.
She got together with some guy, and I had feelings for her. She knew that, so I basically wanted to move on and tell her that I can't deal with that and we shouldn't have any contact anymore. She didn't want to meet, though, so I sent her a long email with everything I wanted to say, basically ending the friendship. There were some questions in there that I asked her to answer, and she promised she would, but she never had. So he had feelings for this girl, and she started messing with another guy, and he sent her like an email with some questions, like probably about his feelings. Never answered. That was a year ago. Until 3 days ago, out of nowhere, after a whole year, which we didn't see or talk to each other at all, she sends me this message about how she wants to see me and give me some letter or whatever with her response. She said she was sorry and regrets everything and it wasn't fair that what she did and blah blah blah. There was some stuff that happened that really sucked and she really hurt me. It would take forever to explain, but let's just leave it at that. I asked why can't she send it, but she said she wants to see me in person and asked me if we could have dinner together and talk. Uh-oh. I haven't really answered yet. I kind of don't want to meet her again because I don't want any of the old feelings to come back. Quote, I'd rather have a dick in my ass. Unquote. On the other hand, I really want to read her answer. Any advice is very much appreciated. I'm going to turn this one over to Yes.
All right. Well, okay. Well, so you guys were friends for 6 years. So that's always tough when you have a really long friendship and then it, might move to something more, or one of you has feelings for the other one that are more than friends, and that can make or break a friendship. And I've experienced that, and I think Wax has experienced that. A lot of people have been in that place. And I think you have to ask yourself, what do you want out of this? I mean, do you miss her as a friend? Are you bitter because maybe she didn't have the same feelings that you had, or maybe she did have those feelings and just wasn't ready to deal with it and was kind of taken by surprise or was scared? I think that meeting with her probably wouldn't hurt, and just maybe you need that closure, even if it allows you to just kind of understand where she was coming from so you can move on. And, you can't forget that 6 years of friendship, that meant something. So I think that maybe not thinking of her as the girl that broke your heart, but the girl that was your friend for 6 years, I would say go ahead and meet with her. And I had a similar thing. I had this guy that was like my best friend. It was before herbal tea, of course. And, sometimes it's kind of hard to have a platonic friendship with someone of the opposite sex, or if you're gay of the same sex, and not ever have that enter your mind where, like, is there something more to this? Especially if it's someone you just really get along with, brings out the best in you, and you have a great time with. So, you're always, no matter what, you're going to ask yourself, is there something more here, or are we just friends? And I told him I had feelings for him, and he said he just wanted to be friends. And for me personally, I knew, like, my friendship with him was too important to let it, get fucked up. So, we stayed friends, and we were friends for years, like best friends. He was good friends with Chris, with Herbal Tea, aka Chris, as well, after I started going out with Chris. So, it could work that way, but it could also destroy a friendship. But I definitely don't think you'll regret meeting with her. I think that either maybe you'll become friends again, or maybe you'll get the closure you need to move on with your life.
I think that was a good answer. I think from a guy's perspective too, what I would add to that is it's going to depend on what she looks like. Because if you just meet her one time and you don't want it to continue further, maybe it'd almost be like a cool little thing to hit it once, It almost like would make you feel good in like some kind of weird like caveman way, what I mean?
I just think it's
I can't relate to that.
He's got
I can.
It's not going to go away if he doesn't deal with it. So you might as well see her, and it's going to go good or it's going to go bad, and see what happens. Either way, you're not going to get any sort of closure if you don't actually go see her.
And you're gonna
This is
wonder
this is what
her
you do,
answer is.
Mujo. This is what you do. I mean, think about it. She hurt you really bad, right? So what you do is be like, yeah, meet me at the cafe, this cafe at this address at 3 p.m. She walks into the cafe, door shuts behind her. Little does she know it's a fucking trick door, and it actually locks when it's behind her, and it's a fucking room with just her and a fucking gorilla, and she gets fucking mauled by the gorilla.
That sounds great.
That sounds great.
That's what I would do, but you know.
But where do you get the gorilla, and how do you train it to maul her and stuff?
All right. Hey, Wax. My name's Jack. I'm 15, and I'm from England. I was just wondering on what stereotypes and stuff you know or talk about with your friends about England. A pretty random question, but it would be cool if you know what you think about our country, etc., etc. Keep up the awesome... my accent's so bad, especially when put
I'm
on the
thinking of
spot.
him as he's 15, but I'm thinking of him as like even younger. Like, well, please tell me.
My name is Pip.
My name is Pip. My brother's name is Nigel, and we come from Worcestershire.
We're both orphans, and we eat at the soup kitchen once a week. We have goulash, and I'm thinking of what's the fucking kid Oliver Twist. I mean, is he even British?
Porridge.
Is he
yeah,
British?
He is British. We have some more, please.
No, I'll tell you, but most people in America can't do a good British accent, me included. But I will tell you that the stereotypes about British people are well, the country, the stereotype is their food is bad. The bad stereotype is their food is bad.
I can't.
B, they say their teeth are bad.
I can tell you that I've been to London. I have not been to anywhere but London, but I've been to London for about 3 days.
It was a while ago.
And the food wasn't so good.
A positive stereotype about British people, and you guys can correct me if you think I'm wrong, but I don't think you guys will think I'm wrong. When a British person says something, in our American minds, like, they sound smart. And we're like, you know what? That's probably fucking true.
Well,
what
like
that
Tony
Brit just
Blair,
said.
like totally agreed with everything that George Bush pretty much, at least foreign policy wise, and he sounded way more credible than George Bush.
I remember seeing the George Bush
anything.
Tony. They had that one, maybe more than once, but I remember one specific time where there was a joint press conference with Tony Blair and George Bush, and they were saying the same shit. But Tony Blair sounded fucking 10,000 times more smart.
There's something about that accent that
but it's also in that case
and smooth too, like the whole 007 thing. I guess like he's British, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
This motherfucker said he's British, right?
He was. Well, that's what he was, right? He's smooth as fuck.
I'm saying the fact that you had to.
I always liked
whether
British
007 is
humor.
British is horrible.
I liked all the British comedy shows and stuff. Like,
yeah, their humor, the British humor is a whole different shit.
Dude,
than American.
are you being
smarter.
served? Remember that show that would come on? It's like an old ass show that would come on late at night.
Yeah, of
Are
course.
You Being Served?
I remember that.
It was like an old show that it was like an old
chick
dude that
named
worked in a
Peacock.
mall.
Captain Peacock was one of the fucking characters.
I think you're thinking of Clue.
No, I'm pretty sure.
Was Colonel Mustard working?
No,
there?
Mrs. Peacock. Mrs. Peacock was Clue. Captain Peacock was, I believe, one of the main characters of Already Being Served.
Yeah, he was the gay dude. No, he was. And then, that's like we have like 5 British people that are like stereotypes, like hey and
there's the British guy that I stereotype is the guy who was fucking like back in like the British colonial era in the late 1800s. He's like a fat, almost looks like Teddy Roosevelt, who's not British, obviously.
Huge
But
mustache.
he's got a monocle and a big white mustache.
He looks like the Monopoly.
He looks like the Monopoly guy, and he's got a fucking safari hat on and an elephant gun, and he owns
Basically
a fucking.
like Teddy Roosevelt,
he's part of
but British.
British, the precursor to BP,
Winston
like British
Churchill.
Petroleum. Like he basically is an oil magnate, and he fucking goes all over the British territories in search of riches. And he's partial owner of the fucking tea company in India or whatever the fuck they had.
And when he's not, when he's not running his business, he's in like the remote corners of the world,
he's
hunting like rare game.
He's doing 2 things. He kills 2 birds with 1 stone because he goes to like, Nigeria, and he's like, I'm in the depths of Nigeria searching for the elusive Nigerian tiger. And I've happened to strike oil. Like he's like fucking looking for oil and hunting big game. He's definitely a big game hunter. But
I can picture exactly the dude. I want to say the movie Jumanji had a dude like that. I could be totally fucking wrong. But I think
he lived in London. That guy
like
lived in London, and when he worked in London, he had a top hat and like fucking, you know what I'm saying? You know the guy I'm talking about. Half of his shit was unintelligible, just like.
he's like bollocks, bellend,
bloody hell.
That's
bollocks.
That my favorite British term is bell end. You ever heard that? Like,
I know. I don't even know bell end.
The bell end, I guess, literally is like the penis head.
Yeah.
You know, like bollocks are testicles.
Of course.
They call somebody a bell end.
That's funny as shit.
You never heard that?
I know bollocks, but I don't know bell end.
I wouldn't know bollocks if it wasn't for the Sex Pistols. I probably wouldn't know. And speaking of bollocks and bell ends, this podcast is getting a little long, so let's come to the end here with a question that I think is addressed to me, but I think we can just talk about in general. And the main thing we could talk about is the very first part. Wax, why you gotta swear so much?
Ooh.
The college radio would love to throw your shit down more. No, throw down your shit more. Why you gotta swear so much, bro? Why couldn't it be thrown out? Sorry. But this is from Mark, by the way. But it's too much effort to clean everything. When are you gonna drop a clean version of your mixtapes? Also, why certain genres swear more than others? That's an interesting question.
That is a good question,
I don't think I'd know how to answer that, but I will say that I actually would know how to answer that, but I will say that I actually have clean versions of a lot of my songs, but I've never actually put out a clean version of an entire mixtape. I should, whenever I finish a song, I should always bounce out a clean version. That's kind of a fail on my part, but I'm just like quick and fucking lazy, you know? But as far as why I swear so much in general, like on this podcast, for example, I couldn't tell you. That's just the environment I grew up in was a very swear-heavy environment. We don't even use the word swear. I grew up saying cuss.
Yeah.
I grew up saying cuss, not
not
swear.
in our house, like with our parents. It was not at all. But what you mean? Just
No,
like
not yeah. Dude, we.
That's what it sounded.
Hell no, we weren't allowed to, and maybe that's why I cuss even more because it felt so good because like once you're out the house, me and Chris were not. Me and Herbal T were not at all ever allowed to like cuss at our house, like in front of our parents.
No.
Now I could give a fuck. Now it's fun to me to cuss in front of them. But like maybe the fact that we went outside and probably cussed the first word 10 times, or
The way I look at it with the music is, and I'm not criticizing anyone who doesn't cuss, but if you cuss in your everyday talking, like you can. If you're just being true to what you're saying, like the way that I speak is I might add a fuck here and there, so why wouldn't I do that in the songs? You know what I'm saying?
There's also like, there is power in those words. When I say give me a beer, it's one thing. When I say give me a fucking beer, it's a different thing. I don't know. I can't think of another word that I could have replaced that with. Besides goddamn. And
I don't remember what it was, but I saw an interview with some director where they were like asking him a question like that, and he was just like, I try to replicate the way people actually talk, and real life is rated R.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree with that person
That's
that they're talking about.
Well, it's something, we have a baby, so we have to like watch that shit, and it's hard because he loves his Uncle Mike and he loves his music. And, I let him listen to it, but he's already like repeated some cuss words from last week's podcast.
Well, that's your fault for letting him listen to that.
It's true.
This is an adult program.
It's true. He asks.
I asked if you fingered a dolphin's blowhole.
I know. I probably won't. Well, he doesn't know.
By the way, there's no cuss words in that question.
Yeah,
that's true. But he asks to listen to his Uncle Mike all the time, and so it's kind of hard to say no because he loves the music. And for me, it's like. A part of me just is like, oh, it's a cuss word. It's not the end of the world. But at the same time, it would be nice to have a few options that aren't all,
I don't know why I cuss so much, man. I was just thinking about the other day. I swear to God, like every chorus, every hook that I write has like a fuck in it. And it's stupid. I don't know. But it is what it is.
I like it sometimes.
Yeah, I mean, I'm doing all right. I'll be fine. But yeah, I think that was a good podcast. I think that was successful. Hopefully people will be interested in it. I'd like to formally thank you guys for letting me stay at your house as you always do when I'm in San Diego. And I'd like to leave the final words to you. By the way, after your final words, I'm going to play a remix from a listener whose name... I'll find his name while you guys make some closing statements. You guys got anything you want to say?
Well, I don't know. Thanks for letting me be on your podcast. It was really fun. And I've enjoyed being on this journey of your music career with you. And, I'm just really happy for you with all the success you've had, and I always believed in you, I always will, and you're just, you know, I guess I'm kind of maternal or something, but you know, I always am like really protective of you and always want to make sure you're eating right and all that stuff. But, you know, basically I just, you know, I don't even know what I'm saying, but, you know, I think you're just going in the direction you're meant to go, and you really can't go in any other direction. So, you know, just keep doing it.
Thanks, yes, I appreciate that.
No
I didn't expect those kind of words. I thought you were gonna say like, yo, I don't know. I really appreciate.
You thought
that.
she was gonna give like a Busta Rhymes style like outro, like, you know, on
I thought she was gonna
doing a real big shout out to my dogs out there in BK.
I thought she was gonna say something like, what's up with you, Herbs? What's up with you?
Nothing, man. Thanks for coming down, and thanks for doing the podcast. It was fun.
When's your album come out?
That's a great question, man. My album is I'm definitely working hard on it. I'm making it happen as fast as I can. It probably will come out after the Wax album, so I'd say when is yours coming out, and then it'll probably be like a little bit after that. I got probably 15 songs in the works at various stages of doneness. Some of them all the way done, some of them just at the beginning stages. It's gonna be, it's gonna be dope, man.
Well, I know I've heard many of those songs, and I'm looking forward to it because I know it's gonna be awesome. And with that being said, I'm gonna close with the fucking remix I got in my email, beatsforwax@gmail.com. This is by Brad K. And hopefully you listened last week because I made a horrible quote, and this motherfucker Brad K decided to make a remix about it. With that said, be safe out there. So basically you're asking me if I'd rather have a dick in my ass or a dick in my mouth. I'd rather have a dick in my ass. I'd rather have a